Welcome to Elementary by Ticker Tape. This is Ujjwal, and in this video, we'll talk about EPS and P ratio. Let's first understand what EPS is. In simple terms, it's earnings per share. But what is earnings? For that, we'll move over to Ticker Tape and we'll open financials for a stock. Let's say TCS. We'll go over to financials. Now there are a lot of line items in this table and we'll do dedicated videos on how to read the financial statements. But in summary, total revenue is the total cash that came in, also called the top line. And after subtracting different costs, we arrive at the final profit or loss number, the net income. This is called the bottom line. This basically is the earnings of the company and hopefully will be positive. Next number we want to look at is the number of shares outstanding. And for that, we'll go to balance sheet. Total common shares outstanding is the number we need. EPS is simply the earnings number divided by the total outstanding shares. Since these numbers are reported at the end of the period, so 2019 end was 375.23 and 2018 end was 382.85. It's a general practice to take an average of start of period shares outstanding for 2019, that is end of 2018, and end of period shares outstanding for 2019, which is 375.23, and take an average of the two. So for 2019, EPS of 83.02 is net income of 31,472 crores divided by the average shares outstanding at the beginning of the period and at the end of the period, divided by 2. This is the formula. But why is EPS important? Let's look at an example. Let's say Jack Sparrow and Barbossa are two pirate captains with their own ships. I am a fresh graduate from the Premier Institute of Piracy, and I have to decide which team to join. Jack Sparrow says his team made 10 crore rupees last year. Barbossa says 40 crore. Is that information enough for me to decide which is better? No. The question is, how much do I get? That is important to me. So I need more information. Let's say that Jack Sparrow has 20 crew members and Barbossa has 100 crew members. So effectively, Jack Sparrow made 50 lakhs per member and Barbossa made 40 lakhs per member. So in this simple example, I join Jack Sparrow's team. Also, Barbossa is boring and that monkey is weird. Now I was very happy to join Mr. Sparrow's team and earn lakhs and lakhs of loot. Told my parents also. My mom was so happy that she hung Jack Sparrow's portrait in the puja room. But now, these people are asking me for a joining fee. Jack is asking for 1 crore and Barbossa wants 60 lakhs. What the hell? Now, I have to again evaluate which is a better deal. So I'll calculate the fee by loot ratio. 2.0 for Jack and 1.5 for Barbossa. Jack is assigning more value to his pirating abilities and so he's asking for a higher entry fee per unit loot that I'll earn. This is called the P ratio. Price divided by the earnings per share. Price is the amount that you pay to acquire a stock, the entry fee, while EPS is your share of the loot, that is the earnings of the company. Let's go to Screener and look at a few numbers. I've added P ratio and earnings per shares as filters and set my sector to IT services and consulting to compare TCS versus its peers. Generally, P ratio and EPS should be compared across companies engaged in similar activities. If I were to compare joining a pirate ship versus becoming a blacksmith, that wouldn't be a fair analysis. You can see how sorting it by P ratio and EPS has such different result sets on the top. But obviously, there are other factors that we need to keep in mind as well. For example, you can see how many companies at the top are very, very small companies. Let's say I don't want to join a small team. Let's restrict the results to large companies only. And now, this is better. P ratio, also called the earnings multiplier, is used to evaluate whether a company is overvalued or undervalued compared to its sector. For that, we'll add one more filter, PE premium versus sector. This shows us in percentage terms which stocks are overvalued. The ones on the top with the positive premium. The stocks at the bottom are undervalued versus the sector. Buying strong, undervalued stocks with healthy fundamentals is what long-term investing's core principle is. The expectation is that the stock is currently mispriced, and given that it's a healthy company with good future prospects, the PE ratio will increase in the future. Hence, the price will go up and the holder will make a profit. One last point before we wrap up is something called a forward PE ratio. This is calculated by taking forward EPS or the expected level of EPS in the future, which expresses in percentage terms where the analysts expect the EPS to be in the next financial year. Adding two more filters to understand this better, the 1-year forward EPS growth and the forward PE ratio. Taking TCS as an example, analysts are suggesting that EPS will actually come down by 4% next year. And that's why the forward PE ratio is actually higher than the current PE ratio. If that happens, TCS sector PE premium will increase even more. Let's try to understand this. The sector PE ratio is here. The current PE ratio for TCS is here. If EPS goes down by 4% in the next financial year, the forward PE ratio is expected to increase. So, the premium will also increase. What might happen is that price might come down from its current level. What will it do? It will either bring the PE ratio to its existing level so that the sector premium is maintained, or it might also bring the sector PE premium to a level below the current premium so that the sector PE premium is actually reduced. Interesting, isn't it? So now I can go back to Jack Sparrow and tell him that he probably thinks too much of himself. I'll join Barbosa's crew, but I really dislike that monkey. So this was a brief explainer about EPS and PE ratio. For more such elementary explainers, please subscribe to our channel. And remember, keep it simple.